Welcome everyone to Tauke Talks, a series of sharing sessions with young and also small but mighty business owners to share about their motivation and the story behind how they start their business and behind their journey in overall. My name is Denise, the host for today. This sharing session is brought to you by RYSE or RYSE, a program that equips young people to equip young people with entrepreneurial skills and knowledge to start small businesses, and we are proudly supported by Citi Foundation. We believe that entrepreneurship is not only for the big tech companies, or even big tech startups, but obviously small and mighty businesses has a crucial part in our economy as well. So RISE aims to showcase small local businesses, their stories, and how they persevere and how they keep on chasing their dream even during the MCO. So we are happy to welcome our guest for today, Atiyah from Jaroom, the co-founder.
Hey, hi.
Very honored to have you today.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. Okay, so before we start, I'm just going to brief you quickly about the agenda for today's Tauke Talk session.
Mhm.
So first off, we have welcoming, which is we want to know more about what is Jaroom and what maybe the story behind it. The questions that we have for Atiyah more about the challenges and how she have what was the story when she first started and any challenges that she faced ongoing. And then lastly, we have a Q&A, which is your questions that you have submitted. And of course, any questions that you have in the chat box, you will ask that again
Mhm.
during the Q&A. And then lastly, we have an ending where we talk about the next Tauke Talks session. When is it? And as well as a quick shout out about our online course, a free online course that we have, which is called RYSE Online. So without further ado, maybe Atiyah, can you share a little bit more about Jaroom and how do people find out more about Jaroom?
So Jarum is actually a local clothing brand that my husband and I established in 2018. We were formerly known as the Needle Exclusive, and we just recently rebranded to Jarum earlier this year. Part of the reason is because we wanted to sound more local, to feel like more connected and closer to our local audiences. And then I think Jarum is aspiring to become a slow-moving fashion line. Our I think strongest mantra and core value is comfort. We our team and we truly believe that everyone deserves to feel the utmost comfort within your own self, and by comfort it doesn't just stay in comfort in your own clothing, but I think our meaning of comfort goes beyond clothing. It goes to being comfortable with your own skin, your own body, and even your own mind. And we I think we are inspired every day to work off of this core value that we hold on to create the comfort space that our customers, our viewers, even our new customers can experience the comfort space that we want to create for them through our clothing brand. Um, and our tagline is actually your kind of comfort. I don't know if you can see it. What we mean by your kind of comfort is we want to be your kind of comfort. We want to be able to provide, to promote being comfortable with your own skin, your own body, your own mind, and we feel like if you can achieve that level of comfort, it's the limitless kind of comfort that you can have. And I think Jarum wants to be able to be part of that journey for you to feel that kind of comfort, and hope that we can spread the awareness so others could, also be able to join our community and to be part of our Jarum community to spread the awareness of being comfortable with your own self. And yeah, we are mostly active on Instagram, jarum.co, but any purchase or orders can be done through our website, also jarum.co. And we are also on Facebook, also jarum.co. We're pretty consistent with that name, so you can find us really easily, jarum.co. So yeah.
Thanks for sharing. So the best way would be so far the best way to access maybe your products, any comfort line materials will be all through the website. Is that the best
Yes,
way to
website.
order?
Yes,
Ah,
the
okay.
best way. And we also have a link that you can just click on it, and then you can be connected to us through WhatsApp if you want to ask us any question, or just be in contact with us.
Ah, okay. Thank you. So could you share more about like what inspired you to start your own like clothing line? I'm sure it's not easy comparing like so many fashion brands out there.
Okay. I think what inspired us, I think we have to go back like 2 years ago. My husband and I came back from the United States because we stayed there for 5 years. We did our studies and we worked there for about a year. And then coming back to Malaysia, we kind of took our time off traveling and like figuring out what we want to do next. My dad threw us an idea to start our own business, right? But we weren't
Hmm.
sure what nature of business we wanted to do, so we kind of put that on hold for a bit. But to make it short, I was traveling with my husband to Penang, and we took this one photo where I was wearing a palazzo pants. It's kind of like a
Hmm.
white leg cutting pants. And then I posted it on my Instagram, and to my surprise, I got a lot of attention from that post. Family and friends were asking like, where did I get my that pants, and they were suggesting that maybe you should sell that pants. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't think that a pair of pants would attract a lot of attention. So the next
Hmm.
day, I kind of randomly posted on my IG story. I created a poll asking if I should start my own brand, just selling a palazzo pants. And the responses was pretty great. People were very supportive and saying that I think that is really where it started off. Kind of like my dad threw us a random idea, and then posting that one post on Instagram, and I think that's where I got inspired to start it off our brand, just by selling one design of pants, with
Hmm.
I think 5 or 6 color choices. Yeah.
You said your dad was a big supporter and even gave you the idea of starting a business. Was he a businessman before? Like, is that why he encouraged you to be a business
I
owner?
think throughout his life, I think he's done a lot of things, but doing business
Mm.
was one of them too. But yeah, I think he's very passionate about that, and he he's very supportive of his kids in whatever that we do. But yeah, I think I'm very thankful for that because I mean, doing business is something that's risky.
Ah, yes. You were talking about your dad was very supportive of all his kids, and then after you graduated, you want to do something. Like, may I
Everything
know,
is
like,
very
what?
close. Uh-huh. Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Ah, great. Maybe could you share a little bit what you studied when you were in the US? Like, what was your major?
With a psychology degree.
Mm.
Yeah, I actually graduated with a psychology degree. And for a year that I worked over there, I worked with an NGO that worked with children who were abused, abandoned, neglected, who who are taken off their custody from their parents. And I worked there as a behavior specialist, where I worked
Mm.
uh, to work with the kids to reintegrate them back into the community, to go to their family or foster family. So yeah, that's
Wow.
actually my nature kind of work before I go into business. So it's very different. I work a lot with kids back in the US. So
Mm,
yeah,
mm, mm. Wow, such a big difference.
yeah, it's such a
How
big difference.
was there any like was those your challenges when you first started? Like, oh, I can't really because obviously it's an online business. It's hard for you to see clients. Would you say that was one of your
mm.
challenges? Like you
I
couldn't really.
actually, I think it's amazing that I don't really feel that,
Mm.
because I feel like even though I work with children a lot, but I still work with human beings. So I work a lot with with people, and even if I work with kids, I do communicate with a lot of adults, a lot of
Mm.
parents, therapists,
Mm.
psychiatrists, adults. So I really feel that way. But the nature of the career is definitely different. Yes, yeah.
Mm. May I know like what? really like in a sense spark your interest to start a business besides obviously the very viral famous Palooza pants? Like
Sorry, I
what
didn't hear you.
sorry what excite you or in like makes you interested about starting a business compared to you know you having a full-time job with kids as a behavioral specialist? Like what really inspired you or sparked your interest to start that business?
I think it's definitely like I said, the nature of it is very different. Like I think the freedom of time and places definitely pay a big difference to it.
Mm,
Like I was telling you before we started this session, that how I work remotely and
mm,
having that freedom, and even to have a meeting with people who work with us anywhere and anytime that we could. I
mm,
think that really plays a major difference. But
mm,
that doesn't mean that we can take it lightly compared to working full time with a company or something like that. But I really think that having the freedom of time and space is really I think it's I don't want to say exciting, because I don't want to say that working full time with a company it's not exciting, but
more
it does
attractive for you.
yeah.
That's great. When you first started, obviously, I'm not sure if you had any business experience before. Were there any challenges when you first started?
Yeah, definitely. We both, actually, my husband and I, we both don't have any experiences or knowledge about business, and I think that is one of the biggest challenges that we face when we first started, is not having the experience or knowledge about business, and the fact that how we started is just by me posting a picture, and then suddenly, okay, I'm gonna do this. I produce the first batch of palazzo and just kind of sell it. We didn't take our time to actually learn about, financial,
Mm,
inventory, things like
mm,
that. And I think after we sold the first batch of our palazzo, which was getting really great response from our customers, people are giving us good feedbacks and saying how comfortable it was. And I think that's the most important things for us, because when I was wearing that palazzo, I feel comfortable in it. So I want people to feel that. Um, but I think getting all those positive feedbacks really make us feel like, excited that, okay, maybe this is the time for us to release a new collection, to produce more. And I feel like that's when
mm,
we made our first mistake,
mm,
by going too big.
mm,
We were still selling our palazzo, but we wanted to release a new collection. We thought that, since we have this pair of pants collection, why don't we have a blouse collection that can match with the pants, right?
mm,
But to be honest, we weren't fully ready for that. In terms of financial, we were, but I think in terms of other stuff, like, not doing full research of what our customers want, what they need, and what kind of
mm,
design that could look good with that pair of pants. So I think that's when we kind of struggle to attract people's attention to our blouse collection, the same as how
mm,
they were attracted to our pants collection.
mm,
I think that's when we struggle, because we didn't have all the knowledge of, to properly design, to
mm,
actually market, research the market, and maybe find, personally asking our customers what they want, what are they looking for our next collection.
mm, mm,
But apart from that, we did overcome those challenges. I think uh, moving, I mean, taking from that experience, that challenges, we started taking business classes. My husband took a
mm,
lot of business classes. He's still taking business classes right now, learning about marketing, ads, designing,
mm,
and then on my part, I do a lot of creative content. So I start figuring out how to like, I don't know what to say, like how to post on Instagram to make it more interesting, to make it more I think, attract more attention.
mm.
And then I think the most important part is where we meet and learn with a lot more of other business owners.
Yeah.
Um, even if the nature of businesses are different, but we meet and talk to them and learn the basic about knowledge. I think that's very important to learn, keep learning.
Mm-mm.
And then I think as we went by, we gained more experience, but we are still learning. I think the biggest take from this challenge that we faced is that we can now better estimate a lot of things like uh, production quantity. We understand our customers better, which was so important because we don't want to just keep producing new blouse, new pants, but no one's gonna buy them because it's not
Mm-mm.
as good as the one before. And I think we can safely say that we actually understand our brand's identity better now, yeah, through these challenges. So
Mm. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, definitely the spirit of continuing learning is definitely important. Any stage
yes.
of a business, even when you are ongoing and running already.
Mm-hmm.
Could you share, do you think any of your skills from your previous experience as a, in a sense, a behavioral specialist or in the psychology field could be used in the business like field now?
I think part of this is communication because when I work as a behavior specialist, we have a lot of training on how to communicate with the kids, with their
Mm,
parents, with their therapists, and a lot of people who are involved in their kids' life, right? So I think the biggest thing that I can take from my previous work as a behavior specialist is communication. I think that's really pays off in my work line right now because I
mm,
do communicate with a lot of people, my manufacturer, designer, and then people who we hire based on projects, like we call them talents, like models,
mm,
illustrator, photographers, videographers, people like that. And I think communication is the most important thing that I can take away from my previous job, being
mm,
able to communicate properly and having like a proper meeting with them to conduct our projects and stuff like that. Yeah.
see. Communication is definitely key here.
Yes, it's definitely key. Because
Could you
when you
share?
work with a lot of people, that's really important, because you
Mm,
have
mm,
to I think know how to communicate with different kinds of people and having them understand what you want when what you need, but also understand
mm.
what they need from you. So yeah.
Yeah, even in the team itself, the team that you have, those also very like you have to
Definitely,
balance all this
yes.
communication, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I think one last question I have for you would be, do you think
Mhm.
um were there any like challenges you had like during MCO and now how was your business like even during this pandemic?
Right. I think one of the biggest challenges during the MCO, and I feel like a lot of other businesses experience it as well, is having to put on hold a lot of things, or maybe even cancel a lot of things. And for us, thankfully, we didn't actually face a lot of challenge because MCO happens during before Ramadan and even during
Mm,
Ramadan and Raya,
mm,
but we we were always like having our designs prepared ready, especially for our collection because that's like the biggest collection release of the year. So we already have our design ready, but as MCO happens, our manufacturer kind of like slowed down with like having people work from home, not being able to work at the factory and stuff like that.
mm,
I, so one of the biggest thing that happened to us is our Raya production got delayed, and we almost wanted to cancel or postpone that release of collection, but thankfully we received everything 3 weeks before Raya, and the meeting with the team and everything, we decided to okay, we just have to release this because it's MCO, people are staying at home and people are buying online, so we're taking the risk and also the chances of hopefully people will buy our collection even though it's being released a bit late, because usually Riot collection will be released like a month or like even prior to that,
mm,
because people wanted to shop earlier to receive their items earlier. But yeah, thankfully we did release our Riot collection and it received like a really good feedback. People are buying from us, and we kind of used that MCO pandemic challenges to bring people together through our RYSE collection. We name our collection as Ikatan collection because Ikatan means bond, connection, relationship between two or more people. And then we name our baju kurung and men's shirt as Kekal and Erat. We kind of want to bring people closer through our clothing line, kind of use that, because we are in this pandemic time, this challenging time, but even through our clothing brand, we can bring people together. So I think we did overcome that challenge, but there are some other things that got postponed, that got cancelled, that we were planning on doing throughout the MCO period, but we couldn't. But yeah.
What was your decision for those like unplanned projects? Like, did you had to postpone it to next year, or like any tips you have for people who are probably having a business as well during this time?
Right, because like I said, Raya time is like the biggest time of the year. People are shopping like crazily. So
online
I
shopping
think,
as well.
yes, online shopping as well. And because of MCO, I think online shopping is getting like a lot more attention, which is nicer. But we do have a plan that we usually during Ramadan we would go out and open a vendor, because that's the time of the year that we will actually go and meet our customers offline, because we do this online full time, right? So there are times that we would go out, and then because we wanted to meet them face to face to thank them for supporting us and stuff like that. And then from the customer's experience point of view, they get to try on our clothes, but happens, we couldn't do that. And then I think that kind of sale as well, because going outside and opening a booth vendor outside, you get to attract customers that who are not your viewers from online, right? So people who don't view you on Instagram, on Facebook, you get to attract their attention from outside. When you open a vendor, they just walk by and suddenly, okay, they want to try on your clothes, they see your stuff, and then maybe from there they would follow your Instagram, they would follow your Facebook, right? So I think from that that was kind of frustrating, but also but we have to do what we have to do, right? We couldn't do that because of the MCO. But I think if we had did that, maybe we could attract bigger audience to our brand. So yeah, that's maybe for next year. Hopefully the MCO and the pandemic will slowly ease away.
Yeah, I think definitely branding and putting yourself at your online presence as well as you can during this time will be the best move as well.
And I honestly feel like not just from customers' view, but from like business owners' views, a lot of like local brands are coming together, supporting each other, which was so nice. Yeah, even for a small business like us, getting all the support, being like recognized and being I think other like local brands are coming to us and saying that, oh, maybe we can showcase your brand on our page, and then we do the same, you do the same for us. And I feel like a lot of people are coming together, supporting each other. I think that was more meaningful than losing all those sales that we could have done if MCO didn't happen. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I have one last question, if you don't mind. Do you think young people should start businesses, and why or why not?
Okay. I mean, I'm a young people as well.
Yes.
And I started my business 2 years ago. So I started we started my business when we were 24. So that's pretty young.
Wow.
And I would say absolutely yes. I would say absolutely yes, because it's fun. You have all the freedom. I mean, and doing business is not just like it's not just like you're focusing on one thing. It's like a lot of things. You learn about accounting, you learn about communication, you learn about designing and stuff like that, marketing. But I would honestly say that it's definitely challenging, because from our experiences and our challenges that I've shared before, it's a lot of ups and downs. It's a lot of process and learning. And I would definitely advise anyone who wants to start their own business to, I actually have a list here. I think the most important thing is to learn the basic of business, at least if you want to start. Like having the basic of like at least you know about the financial, because that's very important if you want to
Yeah.
have a budget for whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And then definitely research the market, what what people are looking for right now, and how you can distinguish yourself from others.
Mm.
And then I would say passion. Think about it. I mean, take time to finding your passion. I mean, even if
Mm.
it's something that is saturated in the market, like you know, clothing line is something that is saturated in the market. Finding your passion is like finding uniqueness, what's gonna make you different from others. That's really
Mm.
important to attract more people to your business, right?
Yeah.
And then definitely meet people and exchange ideas. It's very important to feel like you know I can do this on my own, but the truth is you have to meet people, you have to learn from
Yeah.
others, especially those who have been in the business for a while.
Mm.
And lastly, I would say definitely have a plan. Sit down and lay out your plans, so it's not something that you just jump off and do without having like a clear vision of what you want to proceed in the future. But yeah, but if it's something that you want to do as a side business, if you are currently working full-time
Mm.
job, I'd say definitely do it. If you have um, I mean, like the financial stuff like that to do it. It's definitely great. And if it's something that you would like to proceed as a full-time job, I think my advice is to take your time
Mm.
to stabilize your business before you go into it full time. Stabilize it. Have like a customer base that's you know that at least quite a number of customers who you think would support you throughout your business.
Mm.
And yeah, always seek knowledge, just learn, and hopefully you know you'll be able
Wow.
to succeed.
So many great insights in like few minutes. Could maybe know like what's your maybe your 3 years vision for Jaroom? Like you hopefully in 3 years time you hope to achieve.
Right. So we were only 2 years old right now, so
Mm.
we are a young brand who's still you know climbing the stairs, still trying to establish our brand. But
Mm.
I think one of the things that excites us right now is our new project. I kind of want to give a shout out to our new project that we're working on, but it's for no October release, so I can't really give much. But I think this is something that's gonna really showcase our brand as a different um, kind of clothing brand than others. It's something that we want to be able to continue, I think, throughout our business plan.
Mm.
It is something that's really close to my heart, my husband's heart, our team's heart, and then we really want to integrate this into Jarum and our viewers. All I can say, it's a project about mental health awareness.
Mm.
It's gonna be, I think, the biggest project we have this year. It's gonna be a project that's gonna launch us as a mental health awareness advocate brand. So yeah, I think in 3 years' time, hopefully we are there already. We are a mental health awareness advocate. But yeah, I just want to give a shout out to that project, and hopefully people could learn from that and have an impactful awareness from this new project that we have. And it's going to be a new identity for Jarum as well. So yeah.
Mm. Wow, exciting times coming. So everyone stay tuned in
Yes.
her Instagram, yeah?
Stay tuned.
Yeah, okay. So sorry guys, we might exceed a little bit longer for today's session, maybe about 10 to 15 minutes. But for now, we will just go into Q&A session, yeah? So the first question one of the audience asked is, how long does it take for you to establish your own brand? Like how long did it take for you?
Okay, so as I was saying before, we're only 2 years old. So we are still young, and I think we are still establishing our brand. We are still
Mm.
trying to get our brand known to a bigger audience. But I think in this 2 years time, we have our loyal customers, people who have been supporting us from day one since we were still the needle exclusive, and up until we rebranded to Jarum. From only using WhatsApp to take customers' orders, and then to having WhatsApp and Shopee, and then moving on to having our own website. We still have those loyal customers who follow us,
Wow.
and giving us support. I think that's part of establishing our brand, is to have those people who would support you throughout your journey.
Mm,
And I think at the end of the day, what we want is to establish our brand as its own identity. It's not really so much about the number of people who knows us, but we want people to be able to know that Jarum stands for what. And
mm.
yeah, and I guess our core value is to spread comfort. So we want people to know that Jarum is comfort and comfort is Jarum. I think that's even more meaningful to us. But yeah, we are still establishing our brand every day.
And it's an ongoing process, like she's mentioned.
Yes,
Yeah, because
definitely.
I think that I would like to ask more like, what are the milestones that you use? I mean, in a sense, what milestones do you think you have already achieved so far in your
Sorry, I
journey
didn't
right
hear
now?
you. What was it?
What do you think are the milestones that you have already achieved in your brand?
Oh yes, a
Mm.
milestone. I think I think like I said before, having those loyal customers, because we have customer database, and when we proceed with orders and we see, oh, these customers have bought from us before 2 times, 3 times, and then having
Returning, yeah.
customers contact us asking, oh, when are you guys gonna restock this collection? Sometimes we don't even have a plan to restock a collection, but when customers keep
Wow.
asking us, and I'm like, oh, maybe we should restock this collection. um, I think that's the biggest milestone, having great supporters and customers who we feel like family.
Mm.
And because we eventually want to be a community brand, we want to be a brand that is not just selling to customers, but we want to be a brand that motivate people, inspire people. And like
Mm.
I say, we wanted to be a brand about mental health awareness. So I think we are working towards that milestone. But what we have right now feels like a milestone as well, having people who stood by us through it all. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, such a good sign. Like people are coming back and asking for more.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one more person asked a question, but
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, it's more of like a very nice compliment for Jarum, which they say, I love your baju kurang and seluar palazzo. They are so comfy and versatile. Crying face.
Crying face.
Maybe crying of joy. Yeah, thank
I
you so
hope so.
much. Thank you so much for your insights. I think the few things that I really admire when you mentioned about how even though your field is so different, you still gave that effort of like continue
Mm-hmm.
learning even when your business is already 2 years old. You still have the effort of learning more, and then you really did summarize like a few key points that I hope the participants are able to learn if you are interested, like how she have mentioned market research is very important. Learning more about how you market your brand is very important as well. So thank you so much again for sharing. Hope everyone feel inspired and motivated.
Thank you so much for having me too. This is really exciting for us because it is our first sharing ever about our
Mm,
brand. So I hope that it gets attention as well, and I really appreciate your organization as well, because I went through your Instagram. It's really inspiring how you are how you are inspiring young people to go into business and learn more about entrepreneurship. I think that's really amazing.
thank you so much. Yeah, that is Atiyah from Jarum, everyone, brought to you by RYSE and supported by Citi Foundation. We hope you learn a thing or two, especially an insight of how a small business can grow into a 2-year-old business, doing online, even Shopee, even. So, if your goal is to start a small business or even learn more about business building, we have a free course right now for RYSE, which is called RYSE Online, a beginner's course on how do you start your own business. It's ongoing from June until October, so anyone can start anytime. You do it at your own time and just watch videos, and as well, we have helpful links if you want to explore even more in detail, but those are optional. And of course, at the end of the day, we hope to provide seed funding to any interested young Malaysians who are 18 to 25 who you submitted a business pitch and a video pitch, a business plan and a video pitch, sorry. And then you have a chance to win 10,000 ringgit to start your own business. So if you're interested, please sign up on bit.ly/RYSE online. Okay. And don't forget to sign up for our next Tauke Talks, which is Warren from Park Easy, who started an app for car park reservation, which is not normally here in Malaysia, but it's very interesting. So tune in on Wednesday, 9th September. You can find the registration link on our social media accounts, for example, Instagram, Facebook, and you also can watch our previous Tauke Talks videos on RYSE program. Thank you so much, Atiyah, for your time. We wish you all the
Thank you
best for
so
Jaroom.
much.